Breaking news, good morning. Today it is believed Jesus, a convicted criminal sentenced to death 3 days ago, has mysteriously risen out of his tomb. The Bethlehem native's tomb was found rolled open, and the cloth that had covered his head was found neatly folded where he had been laying. We now go to Megan in Jerusalem at the scene. Megan.
Hello, I'm here on the scene where Jesus Christ, the Son of God, supposedly rose from the dead the other day. Just a few days ago, Jesus was laid in his tomb. Some people think that he rose from the dead, but some think that his disciples stole his body. Later, Mary Magdalene and the guard will be interviewed. We now go back to John with more information.
Thanks, Megan. Here's Eva live with witness Mary Magdalene, who witnessed Jesus' disappearance earlier this morning.
This is Eva reporting here in Jerusalem with Mary Magdalene, a close follower of Jesus who was believed to have risen from his tomb 3 days after his burial. Mary, when and why were you at Jesus' tomb on Sunday?
Mary, the mother of James, another close follower of Jesus, and I set out very early on Sunday morning to Jesus' tomb so we could visit our teacher, Jesus, and to bring him into his tomb some of the spices we had prepared.
What did you and the other Mary find when you got to Jesus' tomb?
When we arrived at Jesus' tomb, we found an empty tomb, no Jesus. We found that all his burial spices were unused. The door of his tomb was wide open. The cloth that had covered his head was found neatly folded where he had been laying, and all the linen wrappings that I myself saw being wrapped around Jesus on the day of his death were left behind.
Is it true that you saw an angel appear to you? If so, what did he say and what did he look like?
Yes, shortly after we discovered that Jesus had risen, an angel that looked as bright as lightning and whose clothes were as bright as snow appeared to us and said, "Don't be afraid. I know you are looking for Jesus who was nailed to the cross. He isn't here. God has raised him to life." It was quite frightening, but at the same time I began to feel hopeful that perhaps my teacher was alive. The angel also told us that Jesus' disciples that he had risen.
Jesus was put to death in the first place for trying to convince us that he is the Son of God. After this incident, do you believe that Jesus truly is the Son of God?
Yes, Jesus is the Messiah and the Son of God. I myself saw him crucified, and now he has risen. God is the only one capable of performing this miracle. So, other than a teacher, healer, and miracle worker, what else can Jesus be but the Lord's Son?
Thank you, Mary, for your cooperation.
Thank you.
This is Eva live in the scene in Jerusalem with witness Mary Magdalene. John, back to you.
We now go to Megan, who will interview one of the guards who was guarding Jesus' tomb shortly before he went missing.
I'm now here on the scene in Jerusalem with one of the guards who witnessed the event of Jesus' disappearance this early morning. What did you witness this Sunday morning, and why were you at Jesus' tomb?
Me and a few other guards were asked by the high priest to guard Jesus' body to prevent his disciples or anybody else from stealing it. Later we fell asleep that night, and when we woke up we found Jesus' tomb rolled open and Jesus was gone. There were two other women who I assume came to visit the tomb in the morning.
Who do you think stole Jesus' body?
I believe that it was one of Jesus' disciples who stole his body while we were asleep.
Another witness saw an angel appear when they were at the scene. Do you recall seeing an angel?
No, I don't recall seeing an angel, but I do recall seeing a burst of light. I simply believe that Jesus' body was stolen, and I assure you, all this about an angel and Jesus resurrecting from the dead is entirely untrue.
Were you at the scene the entire morning?
No, I was at Jesus' tomb the entire time. After I discovered he had disappeared, I ran to tell the high priest that Jesus' disciples stole his body.
Thank you for assisting us on this matter.
Thank you.
Is Jesus impossible for any human being to lift such a heavy tomb. Additionally, one of our witnesses, Mary Magdalene, a close follower of Jesus, claimed to have seen an angel appear to her, telling her that Jesus is alive and that God had raised him to life. Though our guard witness denied seeing an angel, he saw a burst of light, which could have been mistaken as an angel. Finally, the cloth that had covered Jesus' head was found neatly rolled where he had been lying, and his burial spices were unused, and all his linen wrappings were left behind. So, in conclusion, Jesus, a healer, teacher, and miracle worker, is truly the Son of